everyone, it's Anna Jenkins with Home Dream Realty, and we are here with our weekly show. And what we wanted to kind of just tell you about why we're doing this and things is we just want to we get questions all the time, of course, and we thought it would be a good idea to share these questions and the answers and our knowledge with everyone out there. So one of the latest questions that we have is where are people moving?
Right. There's some big macro trends happening. There's also micro trends, and we're going to get into it. But there was a recent study done by United Van Lines, and they were talking about which states people are moving out of, and which states are people moving into. And we want to talk about how that might relate to Virginia, but also more locally to Fredericksburg. So the states that people are moving out of are the Northeast and the Midwest. New Jersey, Illinois, Connecticut, New York, and Kansas. Those are the top 5 states that people are moving out of. The theory goes is that these are high states for taxes and high state for real estate costs. And so they're moving out of those states because it costs more to live there, and if they're retiring or their baby boomers retiring, they're looking to move either to warmer climates or lower tax climates that are more susceptible to retirees.
Well, I will say this, I don't know if everybody knew this, but I grew up in the Midwest, and I grew up in Iowa, a place called Council Bluffs, which is right by Omaha, Nebraska. And I will tell you, I don't think Illinois or Kansas have high taxes or things, but it seems like when you grow up in the Midwest, it seems like either you stay and you stay there, or you want out. And I'm not saying that's it, but that was kind of like me. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. I joined the Navy, and I just kind of wanted to see everything. And I think that's possibly, maybe not for taxes and things for Illinois and Kansas, but maybe just to see what's out there outside the Midwest.
Let me frame it up with the Illinois part. I can't speak with Kansas, but I read another article about how the 2 biggest cities losing population are Baltimore and Chicago being in Illinois.
Gotcha.
And so again, very high taxes, high crime. That could be an issue. Low or high unemployment, and just not a good chance for job opportunities.
I gotcha. So that's probably a big
that
one.
could be other factors that are factoring in. But the states that people are moving into are Vermont. And that's interesting, Vermont. They're going back to the Northeast, but it's beautiful in Vermont.
Yeah, it is. And there's not a lot of people there.
Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, and Arizona. Those are the 5 top states people are moving into. So how does this relate to local? So we talked about macro, micro, Virginia. The trend in the early or the late 90s, the early 2000s, was people were actually moving into Virginia. And that's when we moved in. That's when you moved in. Yep. And so we've seen this trend, and we see it in growth in Fredericksburg, if you think about it. But in the last 4 years, the trend is actually moving out of Virginia. And you might say, oh my gosh, I'm not seeing it. The traffic's horrible in Fredericksburg. 95 is a mess. But in reality is that we go through these fits and stops, and most of the people that are moving out of the southern parts of Virginia, the southern and the central part. And so they're moving out. They're likely going to somewhere where there's either retirement benefits, where there might be no tax. Like Florida is a no income tax state. So a lot of people move there, but it's also low tax states in North Carolina and South Carolina. So people are migrating there as well if it's retirement. But the other thing that might be factoring in, even though we're not seeing it, is how the job market has really focused around major cities. And so that's where Fredericksburg actually becomes the beneficiary. Even though Virginia right now in the last 4 years has lost population, Fredericksburg is actually gaining population. And we are considered, a more favorable place to live in terms of cost of living than it is in Arlington, Alexandria, the Fairfax area. And so I think that's our advantage. And we have the the transportation network with 95, the VRE, the trains, all that stuff available to us.
Correct. So, this is your forecast, actually, of what's happening, where people are moving and things, and we just want to keep you informed. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, just there are some very positive things. I know that the government shutdown, these things have, we're highly, central, like dependent upon contractors, the government, federal employment, that kind of thing. And so that definitely plays into impact of our businesses. But then we have favorable things like Amazon, moving and announcing that they're coming into our area in a bigger way. And so there's with good news, there's bad news, but I think overall we are headed in a more positive direction. And you can see it with all the building activity in the Fredericksburg area. And so just have the confidence that, it's going to be a pretty secure ride in the Fredericksburg area for a long time coming, because we have a lot of the trends favoring us right now.
Right, exactly. So, and the thing is and with that too, is the predictions out there are, things might slow down a little. It's been affected around the nation, but realistically, interest rates are going up. We were in the wintertime, things like that, but they're still predicted, prices are still predicted to continue to go up 3 to 6% per year.
And we're seeing that in rents too.
Right, especially in rents.
Yep. And so, even if it's 2 or 3%, a little bit, it's basically, just that's what we're seeing.
We are seeing that cost of living is still going up. So, well, if you have any questions, make sure to comment here and let us know. We're happy to answer your questions, and it gives us topics for each week. We would love to do that. And of course, get ready for real estate in 2019. If you need any help with sales, rentals, investing, and property management, we are here for you. Have an awesome 2019. Great start.
Bye-bye.